Happy Friday, everyone. I'm going to do 2 chapters again because I do feel like I let you guys down this week and I don't feel great about that. So I'll do 2 chapters and then realistically that will have brought us up to scratch. So here we go, chapter 60. Before I can object, Pi has left the tech lab and I'm jogging to keep up with him. My house isn't far, he says. We're going to your house? Yeah, why? What's wrong? He must be able to read the expression on my face. Oh, nothing, I say with exaggerated casualness. No, nothing at all. Excellent, great, fab. I've overdone it a bit, and Pi's brow creases with puzzlement, but he doesn't say anything. We're outside the school by now, and Pi's putting the key back in the brick hole. The warm, fresh breeze of earlier on has gone, and it feels like another storm is coming. The air is so sticky you can almost taste it, and the sky has turned into a dark grey blanket, making everything feel close. Pi and I haven't said anything for a few minutes, which feels a bit strange, so I break the silence by saying, Is your dad going to be there, or your mum? I add quickly, because that would be the normal thing to say. This, you'll have guessed, is what's worrying me. The prospect of meeting Grandpa Byron is making me feel sick with anxiety, and I'm also a bit excited. It's exactly the same feeling I had before I went on the vampire ride at Chessington World of Adventures. That time I went with Mum and Steve, truly terrified, but looking forward to it at the same time. Pi is now striding ahead. No, my mum's dead. My dad's there, but he was still in bed when I left. He's working late. Oh, and my sister. Your sister? It's true. I had completely forgotten about Auntie Hypatia, which is hardly surprising, as she is barely ever mentioned at home, and I have only met her that once when she wafted into Dad's funeral, preceded by a cloud of heavy perfume. Yeah, she's completely annoying, but don't worry, she won't disturb us. She's only 5. I'm not really supposed to leave the house if Dad's asleep, but she's watching telly, and, to be honest, she'd stay there watching it, even if it was just the test card showing. The what? The test card. You know, the little girl, noughts and crosses, toy clown. Oh, yeah. I have exactly no idea what Pi is on about, but it doesn't really matter because he's still talking. We just got a colour telly a few weeks ago. I must have been the last kid in Britain to know that football teams had different coloured kits. I only had a black and white television when I was a little girl. I stare at Pi in astonishment. He looks at me out the side of his eyes, smiles slowly, and points an accusing finger at me. Kidding? Well, not about the colour telly. That is pretty new. Like, I bet you've got one, yeah? Sure. To be honest, I don't think I've ever seen TV pictures that aren't in colour, apart from the old films that Mum likes. But I don't, except for the one with Marilyn Monroe and 2 guys who dressed up as ladies, which was totally hilarious. Anyway, Pi's still chattering on as we turn the corner. And I've seen that film, and it was called Some Like It Hot. There you go, that's my little bit of info. So what's your favourite programme, Al? This is tricky. I don't know any TV programmes from the 80s, so I mumble, dunno really, I don't watch much TV, to be honest. That's like my dad, he only watches quiz shows. Mastermind is his favourite. I keep telling him, I'm so relieved to hear a title that I know, that I interrupt Pi. Oh yeah, I like that one. He comes back at me with the programme's catchphrase. I've started, so I'll finish. I keep telling him he should enter, but he says, nah, man, tell it's for watching, not being on. And Pi wobbles his head, and the whole impression of Grandpa Byron, the Geordie Indian accent, the head wobble, is so amazingly accurate that I give a delighted shout of laughter and say, that's exactly like him, probably. We've stopped outside a small house in Sandview Avenue, a long street of semi-detached houses leading down to the beach. Wind chimes are hanging from the little porch, and they ping-pong in the breeze, which has been getting stronger, bringing a few fat drops of rain. Come on, let's go in before we get soaked. We go in the back door that's at the side of the house, which opens into the kitchen, and there he is, wearing gold-coloured pyjama bottoms. His slim tan back is towards us because he's washing something in the sink, and there's his long plait of hair, not what like I'm used to, but silky black. I just stand there for a while, my throat's so tight that I can't swallow. I glance around the kitchen and it's just like everything I'm used to with him. There's loads of stuff, things, knickknacks and whatnots, a souvenir mug, a picture calendar, a tiny glass model of the Buddha, but somehow everything is neat. It doesn't look cluttered, or messy, or dirty. It's just him. There's a door leading to the hallway and a tiny girl with huge brown eyes looks up at me, then scuttles away towards the sound of a television in the front room. And then he turns to face us, wiping his hands, and gives a big grin, and I can see his gold tooth. And he's exactly the same, only a bit less lined in his face, but only a bit. When I see his smile, it takes all of my effort not to go up to him and give him a huge hug and smell his smell, but I realise that would be a bit weird. So instead, I just smile like a bit of an idiot, really. Why, hello, bonny lad, who's this? You found your long-lost twin, have you? Grandpa Byron is looking at my face really closely, but he hasn't stopped grinning, so I'm feeling a little bit more relaxed. Daddy G, this is Al. He's starting at our school next term. Hello, Al. How you doing? He puts out his right hand and I clasp it eagerly. It's the next best thing to a hug, and I pump his hand up and down. As I do, it hits me. This is Grandpa Byron's right hand, the bad one, on the end of his twisted, useless arm. Except it's a fine, strong hand and a straight, healthy arm. Very well, thank you, Mr. Chaudhry, very well. I'm almost laughing. I'm so happy. But that would be weird too. Ah, man, you can call me Byron. Everyone else does. Can I have my hand back? That's some grip you've got there, bonny lad. I let him go reluctantly. He's peering at me again. Where are your folks from? My dad's from Punjab originally. I'm nervous where this is headed, but I'm trying to look relaxed. Get away, me too. Tuhana Punjabi Omdihi. Now, I know enough to understand that this means, do you speak Punjabi? Not really, I say. We speak English at home. My mum's Scottish. Grandpa Byron smiles and nods. What's your last name? Singh. OK, well, you're not a Sikh Singh, otherwise you'd have a turban. So what are you? Now, this is something I hadn't anticipated. What could he mean, what am I? I'm sort of gawping, trying to think what to say, when he helps me out. You know, your dad, is he Rajput, Yadav, Maratha? Ah, I guess that these are some sort of Indian clans, and I pick one at random. Maratha. Grandpa Byron looks upwards in the expression I recognise as he tries to retrieve something from his memory place. OK, Maratha sings from Bahawalpur. You'll be descended somehow from Dani Ram Singh, the great Punjabi poet who died in 1924, who had 10 children called Ranji, Ran. This is just like listening to Grandpa Byron when he was playing along with the TV quizzes, and I start laughing out loud, but Pi puts a stop to it. Dad! That's all it takes. Grandpa Byron stops mid-sentence, and his gaze returns to us. He looks a little bit embarrassed. Sorry, he says with a half smile. Pi is rolling his eyes, but smiling at the same time. He's always doing that, showing off his memory. That's all right, I say. Who won the Wimbledon men's singles in 1967? Without hesitating, John Newcombe from Australia beat Wilhelm Bungert from Germany in straight sets. And at Wimbledon, they call it the gentlemen's singles. Pi been telling you about my memory, has he? Pi hasn't said anything to me about Grandpa Byron's memory, but I nod yes in reply because I know it will please him. Pi frowns at me though. Oops. But then I'm saved from any further quizzing on my fictitious family background and my unlikely knowledge of Grandpa Byron's memory by a piercing scream. Oh, we have to go on, don't we? Chapter 61. Okay, here's a question for you. You're delivering newspapers door to door and you come across a box of strange masks on someone's doorstep. Do you A. completely ignore the box and its contents? It's not yours after all. B. have a look around. If no one's looking, then perhaps try one on very quickly. Or C. find the scariest one you can and scare the nearest 5-year-old girl so much that she screams. I'm guessing and hoping your answer will be A or B. I'd like to think I'm a B, but if I'm honest, because I'm honest, it's probably A. Definitely not C. But then, I'm not Macca. Grandpa Byron is first to run towards the screen and Pi and I follow him. In the middle of the sitting room, little Hypatia is standing rigid, staring out of the window. Staring out of the window, then down at the carpet and back up at the window. She turns to her dad and buries her face in his legs. What is it? What is it, Hopi? Are you okay? He asks. But she just points behind her out of the window. With a jerk of his head, Grandpa Byron indicates to Pi and me to go and check outside. Opening the front door, we can't see anything. Then there's just rah! A hideous figure leaps up in front of us from behind a bush, causing us both to yell and jump back. The mask is truly gross. An ugly head in blue and gold and red and white, with big jagged teeth, a long red tongue, and tiny skulls all around the edge. And then the mask is lowered, and Macca reveals himself, cackling with laughter cruelly. Ha! It's the boyfriends. I didn't know you lived here, man. Ciao. Hey, you should have seen your faces. You looked like you were gonna faint or something. Well, I think you should be very proud of yourself, says Grandpa Byron, who has appeared bare-chested in the doorway, still wearing his gold pyjama bottoms. You've managed to achieve that with a 5-year-old girl. His voice is completely calm, but there's an icy look in his eyes. So well done, son. Do you feel big now you've scared a little 5-year-old girl? Now, if this were you or me, or anyone else, in fact, then we'd feel really embarrassed and stammer out some sort of apology. But this is Macca, who straightens his back and tilts his head to one side, looking defiantly at Grandpa Byron with his little bulging eyes, who is waiting for him to say something. Behind Grandpa Byron in the window, little Hypatia's face is pressed against the glass, her big scared eyes still wet from her tears. Well? Macca says nothing. Grandpa Byron turns to us. Do you know this joker, Pi? Is he a friend of yours? Before Pi can answer, Macca chips in with a friendly note in his voice. Oh, yeah, we're good mates, aren't we, Chow? Pi, we're... I wasn't asking you. Pi? Pi's eyes dart from me to his dad to Macca. Macca's eyes narrow as they meet Pi's, and his nostrils flare. Is he a friend of yours, Pi? Almost inaudibly, Pi murmurs, yeah. You know what? I think I'd have done the same. Self-preservation and all that. I think no less of Pi. All right then, give me back the mask, say sorry, and off you go. I don't think I have ever heard anyone say sorry and mean it less. Holding Grandpa Byron's gaze with his own hooded eyes, Macca delivers a clip, as he hands over the mask, then turns sharply, gathering up his bag of newspapers from the driveway and stalking past us. As he does so, he throws a glance at us, and it's what he does next that sends a chill down my neck. He winks, and there's a half smirk on his lips. Oh, I wouldn't trust that, Macca, would you guys? I really wouldn't. Well, that's taken us up to the weekend now. And I give you my word, because my son's going back on Thursday to Cardiff, so I will be recording next week as usual. So have a lovely weekend. What's that? The end of week 2 of our summer break. So I hope you're having fun and relaxing, doing some nice things. And I will speak to you again on Monday. Take care, Maple. Bye for now. Bye.